Hello, and welcome back to Anko Collects, and thank you for being here. And for anyone who saw that last video, I do want to apologize for the massive cut I had when I was transforming Starscream. It did take me a minute to transform him. I got a little confused on certain steps, instructions. This is just pictures, and they're not really detailed. I would have done a speed up through it, but I'm still learning how to edit, so that's why there's just a huge cut between his transformation. I do apologize for that. I hope you'll be patient and with me while I continue learning how to edit these videos. But for right now, we actually do have a new figure who was not. This figure was not in the lineup of things I was going to be looking at. It was a figure that I had on pre-order. Was he pre-order? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a pre-order. I forgot when it was actually supposed to ship out, but it is here, so I decided that I would look at this ahead of everything else I had planned. So, lo and behold, the 70th anniversary Burning Godzilla by SH Monsterarts, which, by the way, is a re-release, because I know SH does have another one, but I never was able to get my hands on it. Same for the Destroyer that they released with him, along with the mini Destroyers and the Godzilla Jr. I actually have nothing from that set. Now that I should have said that. Well, anywho, yeah. So, without that out of the way, let's crack this bad boy open and take a look at him. Oh, just lay him down real quick. Get this box out of the way. So, first out of the way are his accessories. So, comes with two separate hand attachments that you can add on. I will go into these a little more later because I don't actually know what his regular hands look like. And usual SH, we have the stand for their blast effects. And here is the first atomic breath, which actually, I'm looking at it, doesn't look like it. Oh, wait, there it is. Never mind. I was going to say, it's hard to see it, but it doesn't look like it has a little pegging hole for it. So I thought they'd actually decided to let you put it in the mouth on its own. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is supposed, I can't remember what the effect this was supposed to be. Okay. Here it is on the back of the box. Just show you. So it's supposed to be a ground effect, kind of like when you walking through, causing fires because of his high body temperature. But before we get further in, I really do enjoy the movie that this Godzilla is from. It's Godzilla vs. Destroyer, the final film in the Godzilla Heisei era. Great film. Really loved it as a kid. And now I'm actually glad I'm able to get the figure for this movie. I also remember I was never even able to get the NECA version, which I remember seeing it as a kid, but I never went for it. But like I said, further ado, let's get Godzilla out here. Big G himself. Also, he comes with a little display stand with the 70. You also see him in it. Ooh. Alrighty. And there he is, in all his glory. Honestly, there he is. Yeah, Honestly, not a bad paint job. Like that look in his eye. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Come on. He looks a little. She looks a little derpy up close. But yeah, not a bad paint job. It's got some good articulation in the arms. Let me see if I can. Yep. Arms rotate full 360. Get that little, get the classic pose where he's walking. He's got some decent, I can see neck joints. Yeah, not bad. Open jaw. Rawr. The articulation on his tail, from what I can see, isn't too bad either. It's probably a bit stiff though, since it's been in the box for so long. I would say so long because it's fairly new. You know, just gotta get it moving. From what I can tell, definitely not as much articulation though as the Shin Godzilla, which is I do have, but I don't have him out to show. It's also the only other SH Godzilla I have too for comparison. So honestly, not a bad size for the type of Godzilla he is. For being Toho's, because I know at this time Godzilla. Well, at the time, believe he was the biggest Godzilla at the time. But I guess I'll just show off his blast effects and other things first. And then I'll also get into a size comparison with the Haya Godzilla that I have. You saw him in the last video with Rodan. Also, really do like what they did with his dorsal plates this time. Because if I'm not mistaken, on the other figure, they used a different type of orange. They didn't use a translucent orange on him. So I like that these ones actually have a little translucent coloring. Really cool. Like I said, he also got his different. We also got his different hands. You know, different effects. You got more open palm from what I can tell these are. Let's see. So for his walking effects, if I'm not mistaken, he's kind of. Make sure that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Okay, I see. So that's also where you would peg in the little stand. Or I guess I wouldn't say it's a stand, but I guess you can call it one for his atomic breath. Or heat ray, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's ever actually been referred to as his atomic breath in media. In the shows and movies, anyways. I had a discussion with a friend the other day. Ooh. Did I put this in right? Hold on. Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah. We'll go. There it is. Oh. All right. So yeah, you put this at the base of his foot. And boom. Now it looks like he's about to blast some poor monster into oblivion. And honestly, like I said, not bad looking. I'm glad I was finally able to get my hands on a burning Godzilla. And I'm glad it happened to be this one. I do wish I did have the other one for comparison, but I don't. Same for the Super 7 ones. I also don't have any of those for comparison. But like I said, it ain't a bad figure. Is a bit, I will admit, is a bit pricey though, because I'm not mistaken, he was $186. Here we go. Yeah, $186, which is a bit pricey for a figure with about four accessories. But like I said, good figure. I like it. So, yeah, let's just, for now, place him on top of the stand while I go grab the Hiya Godzilla for a size comparison. Alright. So here, let's get them off the stand. So here they both are for a comparison. So from what I can tell, yeah, Hiya's is a bit, not much bigger, but he's like slightly taller, which, you know, not only is it two different, aside from them being two different companies, but it makes sense considering, you know, the Monsterverse Godzilla is taller than, I think, at this point in time, every Toho Godzilla, excluding Godzilla Earth and any book or game counterparts. So yeah, Monsterverse Godzilla is second tallest. We'll say second just because it's Godzilla Earth. And we're also not going to talk about Ultima. That one doesn't count currently. But, so this is two Godzillas compared. And I've actually seen this brought up before in certain communities on whether or not they like the two companies' toys would scale with each other. For the most part, some of them do, some of them don't. It depends on the toy. I have heard that, I have been seeing anyways, that Haya's, I think it was their Heisei era Ghidorah, is a really big figure and definitely wouldn't, actually it doesn't, I don't even think it scales well with some of their own stuff. Their Monsterverse Godzilla is definitely bigger when he shouldn't be, but that's its own separate thing. But yeah, this is SH Godzilla, Hiya Ghidorah, different Godzillas, but still good. They have good scaling with each other. So I'd say if you want to buy one, but you've only been buying one of another company so far, I'd say you can still go for it and still have them look good in your collection. They'll still look good in your collection together. It wouldn't look too off. Especially, like I said, since, you know, different eras, they already shouldn't be similar heights to begin with. But if you ever want to, like, take pictures of them together and little things, have them going at it, I'd say that they'll look perfectly fine together. But yeah, so that's honestly my opinions on the SH burning. Said good articulation, good paint. I really do like that shit. Ooh, what? Just noticed. I didn't even notice. Chest paint's I wouldn't say it's translucent, but it has a translucent look to it in certain areas, especially on the arm. Yeah, I would recommend getting it if you have the money. If not, if you don't feel like shelling out the cash for this figure in particular, I do know Hiya did announce their own Burning Godzilla, but Hiya has been also taking a bit long on certain releases that should have been out ages ago. But like I said, neither here nor there. I still would recommend SH's Burning Godzilla 70th Anniversary Edition, especially if you weren't able to get your hands on the first one. But yeah, that's it for now. In the next video, I will be back to. I will go back to looking at the figures that I was planning on looking at. Spoiler, gonna be two more transform. I think actually, hold on. Yeah. Spoilers, the rest of everything I'm looking at is gonna be Transformers related. But until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time.